Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the pre-week analysis. How are you guys doing, guys and gals? Don't let me leave the ladies out. I would never do that. I love the ladies, all the beautiful ladies around the world. So let's get into it. We are approaching the third week of 2024. Today's date is January the 21st, 2024. I am your host, your technical analyst, your good friend, brother, coach, all the above. Let's jump into it, guys and gals. Let's jump into it. So before we get into it, let me give a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I was told that I need to put up a real CTFC disclaimer to better cover my hind end parts, so I'm going to be doing that. So I no longer have to give that disclaimer because that disclaimer may not be efficient enough. So but I still gotta say it just so I'm covered, um somewhat covered on my end. So now that we've gotten that out the way, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So looking back over the previous week, I told you guys last week that I wanted to see the dollar go high, right? I wanted to see the dollar run my monthly PD array levels that I had. I've erased the volume imbalance that I had here. I've replaced that PD array with weekly PD arrays from, let me show you, November the 13th. The week of November the 13th, I'm on the weekly time frame now, as you can see here, right? I'm sorry, December the 11th was the PD array levels that I replaced in place of the weekly volume imbalance that I had right here. Daily volume imbalance, I'm sorry. And those weekly PD arrays come from December the 11th of last month. And as you can see, this week we ran up into those levels, kissed that 79 PD array premium array level perfectly. It was 691, 103,691, and the high of last week was 103,692. So we literally went over it by 1 pip, and price immediately sold off of that level, right? So moving forward, going back to the daily now, moving forward, this is what I'm expecting out of price, right? If the dollar is going to continue higher, right, then I expect us to go lower first, right? And I'm paying real close attention to this area right here, this area right here. Why? Because there's a lot of liquidity in this area. First of all, we have this daily volume imbalance that price pushed through last week, right? Um, we have the monthly PD arrays that price pushed through last week, right? We have the new weekly PD arrays that you can see here, right? And um, the 79 discount PD array lines up perfectly with the 79, um, I'm sorry, with the 62% monthly PD array, right? You can't really see it because they sit in light. at the exact same level. But that's what this is. This is the 79 weekly and the 62 monthly PD array, right? So we literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because you have to count your consequent encroachments of the daily volume imbalance and your consequent encroachment of the weekly and monthly PD arrays, right? So altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 PD arrays within this area right here, right? Within that area right here. So if price is going to continue higher to run December's monthly buy side liquidity, these equal highs that we see here, and get up into these weekly PD array levels from November the 14th, if we're going to do that, then price should sell off first, right? Before giving us that push up. Now, if we're going to continue lower, then I would like to see price run this sell side liquidity, right? Not break or close below this first PD array level that we see here, this monthly PD array level, right? Not break or close below that, but run this sell side liquidity from Thursday, from last Thursday, and continue higher, right? If we're going to go lower, right? I would like to see us run this sell side liquidity, not break or close below the monthly PD array level, run higher to run that buy side liquidity, see how price reacts to that level, right? If we can't break and close above that level, then that'll be the confirmation that I need um, to let me know that price is going to start running lower to attack all of this liquidity here and these equal lows here and run down into these weekly PD arrays that we left unchecked right here from um, January the 2nd. So that's what I'm looking at for the dollar, right? We have to be patient. We have to allow price to show us and tell us what it wants to do. But that is my if this, then that analysis for the upcoming trading week. Now, my bias, of course, as I've told you guys before and over the previous week, long term, my bias for the dollar is to the downside. I expect us to come down and run these levels here to the downside, right? That's what I want to see us run. These levels here. These are the levels that I want to see the dollar attack, right? Long term. But in order for us to get there, the dollar will have to run higher first. Will not have to. The dollar should run higher first, right? To to engineer more liquidity for price to come back and take out at a later time. Cool beans make sense? Cool beans. But as you can see, as called in the pre-week in the previous pre-weeks analysis from last week, price did play out exactly how I wanted to see it play out. We ran through the monthly PD array levels and the daily volume imbalance to run up and run the previous week's buy side liquidity. I deleted that level, but this was the previous week's buy side liquidity. And I told you guys on the pre-week analysis from last week that that's what I wanted to see rant along with the monthly and daily volume imbalance, and price played out to the T. Came up to the weekly PD array levels from December the 13th, kissed that upper level perfectly and sold off of it. So now I'm expecting the dollar to open up bearish I want to see us run this sell side liquidity and see if we push through it aggressively and close below it, I'm sorry, and or if we run it without closing below it and continue to the upside. That will determine the whole bias moving forward for the rest of the week. Cool beans? Cool beans. So with that said, let's look at our currency pairs. We know we was expecting bearish price action out of currencies last week because we was expecting bullish action out of the dollar in currency pairs. At least the currency pairs that we trade, which is Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD USD. We know that those pairs are inversely correlated with the dollar, meaning that they push in the opposite direction of the dollar. So, with that being said, I do want to see Euro USD continue higher because, as I said, my overall long-term bias for the dollar is bearish, right? So my long-term bias for currencies is bullish, right? But we still have to see a few things. Now, last week was a bullish week for currencies, right? Short term, bearish week, right? In order for me to get back on the bullish side of price for Euro USD, I would like to see us get above the monthly PD array levels, right? Once we break above those levels and close above those levels, then I will start looking for entries around those levels to target the weekly PD arrays that we see here to the upside. And if you notice, these weekly PD arrays are sitting right above these equal highs, which I think price is going to be drawn to like a magnet this upcoming week. May not get up there this coming week. It may take us up to 2 weeks to get there, but I do think that that's where the draw on liquidity is at right now. Cool beans, and that's across the board. That's the same for the pound, right? We have a daily volume imbalance right here, right? We seen that the pound came down, ran the monthly PD array levels, right? Came back above it, closed above it, came down to retest it one more time Friday, right before the close of the market. And I think that now price is making its way back up into this volume imbalance, and we will see price get up to the monthly and weekly buy side liquidities that we see here. Same thing as Euro USD. The draw on liquidity is to the buy side. And for NZD USD, same thing. I would like to see NZD USD push down one more time to run this monthly sell side liquidity and maybe kiss the top of this inverse weekly fair value gap. Let me go out to the weekly time frame so you can see that that is what that is, right? Inverse weekly fair value gap when we broke back above it, closed above it, right? We never came back down really to check that level, right? So I would like to see us kiss the top of that level, right? And then the draw on liquidity will be this monthly buy side liquidity and these fairly equal highs that sits below consequent encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. Does that make sense? Cool beans? Cool beans. And of course, if we break aggressively through this inversion, this weekly inversion fair value gap, then we will target sell side liquidity here and here. Simple as that. Easy peasy. Cool beans. Let me take you back to the daily before I go to futures. Cool beans. Cool. Oh, excuse me, guys. Cool beans. Um, Looking at E-mini S&P 500, I do want to see um see we're at all-time highs for let me see. All right. Um, Let me look at the dollar one more time. Yeah, I want to see the dollar open up, run this low and continue higher because now futures could very well just keep pushing, but I mean, dude, we bullish wheat here, aggressive to the upside, aggressive to the upside. Um, yeah, if we're going to continue higher for futures, I would like to see us price should give us a pullback back down into the weekly PD array levels from the previous trading week, last week, right? Show us some support off of those levels before continuing higher, right? If we're going to go lower, then price could very well open up and run higher until it runs out of, um, until the algorithm gets ready to um, change its draw on liquidity, right? Because we're obviously drawn to buy side liquidity, have been drawn to buy side liquidity since October the 27th, right here. Right. We've been drawn to buy side liquidity. So until the algorithm decides to flip and start drawing to sell side liquidity, futures is gonna run higher, right? And we just have to position ourselves in the most favorable positions according to the PD arrays and imbalances in the market. And so looking at price now, I can't tell you whether we're going to continue higher or lower because nobody can really tell you that. Nobody whatsoever. Nobody on this earth can tell you that except for um the guys or the person, whoever they are, he or she may be, who has their finger on the button. So you know, I'm just waiting on price to tell me and show me what it wants to do. However, I would like to see um a correction out of the futures market. I would like to see us pull back um, down into some of this imbalance if we're going to continue higher, and if we're going to flip to start targeting sell side liquidity, then I would like to see us run higher first, right? To squeeze all the early sellers out, right? And then start to target sell side liquidity. So it all depends on how the market opens up and what we see. I probably want trade Monday just to give markets a day to basically show its hand, tell me what it is that it wants to do for the remainder of the week. So that's usually how I play it out when I don't really see it clear or we're coming out of a trending market and it doesn't seem like price could continue to trend in that direction, but it very well could. That's when I'm on the sideline for the beginning of the week, mainly Monday, sometime Tuesday, until I can see what price is doing as clear as day, right? So that's what I'll be looking for ES this week. I do want to see ES pull back down into weekly PD array levels, as well as with NQ. I would like to see NQ pull back down into weekly and daily PD array levels before continuing high, right? We very well could see futures pull back and just blow through those PD array levels, right? And if we see that, then I would wait for price to clearly close below those levels, come back, show that we cannot get back above those levels, and then I'll start looking for shorting opportunities to target sell side liquidity. Make sense? Makes sense. Cool bean. Well, as always, I hope that this technical analysis, this pre-week analysis was beneficial and helpful to you ladies and gentlemen. As always, if they are, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot when you guys subscribe and share the content. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job, that I'm adding value to you guys' life, and that I'm empowering you ladies and gentlemen out there. So please, please, please comment in the comment section on the YouTube channel. Let me know what kind of improvements I could make, any testimonies that you guys may have, and just yeah, spread the love and share your thoughts on the channel in the analysis that I give you guys every week for the last 4 years now. So with that being said, if you're interested in joining my private Telegram group, you will need to go to precisionpipsllc.com and sign up for the silver package. That is $150 a month to join my private Telegram group where you have access to me and my community 24 hours a day. We chat about world economics. We chat about the markets. We chat about fundamentals. We chat about crypto. We chat about everything that has anything to do with the global financial markets, period. So, and most of the people in our community has been a part of this community for 2 years or longer and has been trading for at least 2 years or longer. So it's a lot of valuable information coming from our community. So with that being said, I appreciate every last one of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, coming out, getting this knowledge and empowering yourselves. Let your family and friends know you love them while they still here. Please. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know